morning call on CNBC TV 18. The show where you can access all the global market action, key macro trends, top stocks in news. A show that prepares you for your trading day.
Good morning, you're with us here on a fresh new edition of Oops, I don't think I need you to say that, right, Nigel?
It's already done.
Because the robot has already said it. And but I must say good morning. We are, of course, coming to you from the Global Leadership Summit here in BKC, Mumbai. It's the biggest, most marquee event in the CNBC TV 18 events calendar. And we are happy to present it to you all day here, along with, of course, the robot, Nigel, named Jeevan.
Well, that's right. Jeevan's taking our role, I think, today. But as you said, Prashant, you know, if the World Cup is to cricket, what IFA Awards is to the film industry, well, GLS is what it is to the business as well as the financial world. No bigger event than this. And all through the day, we're going to get you the top voices from corporate India as well as from across various industries as well. But let me go ahead and say hello to Jeevan, I think so. You know, let's say hello to Jeevan, and good to have you on the show. Let me try that again.
Yeah, try it again.
All right. Hi, Jeevan. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, he did. You know, I was thinking, Nigel, in a way, this is, you know, been to the World Economic Forum a couple of times, and this is, in a way, the Davos event.
Yes.
You know, the biggest of names, CEOs, regulators, and I think it'll be kicked off with, of course, the SEBI chairman himself at about 9:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Of course, I mean, we'll have our usual sort of, you know, array of market experts, top CEOs. But I think what makes this different compared to other events, of course, is the depth and breadth of global personalities who will be here. The biggest talking point is artificial intelligence, right here, right? Robotics, artificial intelligence. And I think we have a bunch of people joining us from places like OpenAI, which are right in the center of this AI revolution, right up on that stage, which of course we'll showcase for our viewers as well.
Well, that's right. I think all through the day we're going to be touching various aspects, you know, whether it's going to be from the regulators to corporates to AI, it's going to be all across various platforms. So interesting day lined up ahead, Prashant.
Absolutely, and I think our colleagues are in the studios with us. So, okay, I think we should bid adieu to Jeevan.
Thanks, Jeevan, for joining in, and we'll see you later in the day. Thanks a lot. All right, I think Jeevan's said that got another appointment on the way out. See you later.
All right, I think what we're going to do, of course, is also bring in our colleagues from the studio. Surabhi and Mangalam are with us. So it's, of course, going to be a mix, a sprinkling of the unveiling of the Global Leadership Summit over the next 1 hour. But of course, I mean, you've got a market to track, and markets last night have looked a little wobbly. Surabhi, Mangalam, good morning.
Morning, morning, guys. I'm sorry, Jeevan's stolen your thunder completely, Prashant and Nigel. And I think it's the last couple of maybe quarters, maybe a few years. It's time to hang up our boots. Jeevan's looking spiffy out there, but as are the two of you. Looking forward to, you know, day-long extravaganza, lots of views, global, local, and so much more. Morning, Mangalam.
Good morning. You know, it'd be fun if, you know, one of our, you know, wardrobe team or stylist team would have gotten Jeevan a jacket. Then definitely he would have matched up to your swagger as well. But it was very, very impressive to watch just that. You know, you watch it in the sci-fi movies, and now to see it in real is a lot of fun.
But, you know,
normally when I come to studio in the morning and, you know, we welcome each other, I'll tell you what, today I got out of the elevator and the first person to welcome me was Jeevan. And I said, let me just try it. I said, hi, good morning. And Jeevan said, hey, what's up? You know, and she put the hand out. That's why I thought I've already done it. Let's do it again. But yeah, interesting day ahead, guys.
And guys, it's only telling, right? I think the timing is so right that we are here looking at the reality of AI, and that's been the biggest discussion point across the world this year. And actually, Prashant, I mean, I'll hand it back to you for the top cues. And look at that. That's exactly what's driving markets. Wall Street fell last night. All of Asia, by the way, is down. Exactly because of that AI debate, whether it's getting a little excessive. Over to you.
You know, Shirin is going to be here in just a bit, and we'll sort of get her into the chat as well. She's speaking with, by the way, the OpenAI person who's here at the event. And that absolutely, Surabhi, as you said, that is the central focal point, because this is a market which is driven by AI at the exclusion of everything else, right? So let's just take it from the top. I think we should, for our viewers, get them what they need to know in terms of the trade setup as well. So here you go, right? US equities, a bad and a poor session. The S&P 500 down about 1.5%, Nasdaq down about nearly 2%. So, you know, Nigel, you had a 2% sell-off on Tuesday. Wednesday, there was a bit of a recovery. And last night, once again, I mean, same kind of vibes, not really great in terms of what we've seen, right? So the WIX jumped about, 11%. 10-year yield lost about 7 basis points. We're at about 4%. And this is classic risk-off. Led by a couple of things. Of course, technology is a big part of it. NVIDIA was down 3.5%. But so were Meta, Amazon, which was down 3%. Palantir was down about 7%. So Michael Burry, with his short positions on NVIDIA and Palantir, already in the money. I think, of course, I mean, we don't know what price he's bought those puts at, but I guess he's in the money. Weakness on the back of renewed capex and return on investment concerns. Remember, you had this crazy thing, which was basically, this OpenAI person essentially saying that we are looking for government financing. That was interpreted by markets to say, well, are they really asking for government backstop for all the investments which AI companies are making? And I think that sparked a bit of a sell-off. This morning, there are some comments which have come through from Sam Altman, and I'm sure Surabhi will refer to them as we go along. He's kind of saying, well, we're not looking for a backup, we're not looking for a fallout or bailout, but we're looking for, of course, financing for government-led programs. There was also, of course, a challenger job cuts, data on job cuts, which got the attention of markets, and that is kind of speaking to some weakness in the US economy as well. And on the back of all of it, you look at what's happened to the FOMC December pricing. It's ticked up to about 18 basis points. Market breadth, just to come to India, yesterday was a poor day, by the way. We were down about 70, 80 points, but just look at the market breadth. It was smashed, and mid-caps, popular mid-cap, small-cap stocks, a long list of names which are down between 8-10%. And where does it leave us, right? I mean, crunching fall yesterday. Nifty's closed under the 20-day moving average. And now you've got to look at the September top. Remember, you had a September top, a sharp sell-off, and then a rally from the lows of September all the way high. So the September top is 25,448, which, by the way, becomes the support. And for the Nifty Bank, it's not yet broken the 20-day, but it's not very far away either. And here the number is about 57,486. So that's the a trade setup and the overall way to look at things, and of course some levels there as well. On the positioning side, futures and options and that side, how's it looking, Nigel?
Well, Prashant, as you said, yesterday was absolute risk-off for our markets itself. So you look at the headline index, you'll see we're down 100 points or thereabouts on the Nifty. The problem was in the broader market. So breadth of the market was smashed. The bears felt on top out there. And the Nifty has been making lower lows and lower highs as well, which is a bit of an issue. And the Nifty Bank, it's very, very close now to that 20 DMA. So today, in that sense, is a make or break day. Global markets in a bit of a tizzy, and the bulls will want to fight back from the days of lows of the day. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. One okay factor is actually the India VIX. That's not yet run away. It's still holding at around that 12-odd handle. And we've corrected close to 600 points in the recent peak. I'll keep an eye on that. You don't want the VIX, to spike up and get out of whack. So that's one point out there. The FIs continue to sell. Close to 3,000 crores of selling is what we saw yesterday. And in terms of FI net short positioning, from the start of the series, it's moved up by close to around 40,000 contracts or thereabouts. Yesterday, actually, there was some unwinding of long positions. The clients on the flip side, well, they are totally opposite, diametrically opposite. They have added long positions. So FI is net short, the clients are net long on the index. Moving to the PCR, well, the Nifty PCR went down up to around 0.95. That's come back down to around 0.77. Remember, at around 0.65 odd is when you see some kind of basing out. Two strikes were very active, and they should come up for you on the screen. 25,600 call, good amount of open risk built up out there. But one important point was the 25,400 put, you got the direction right because the Nifty was lower, but the premium in fact came down, telling you there is some writing at those levels. So in terms of levels that I'm looking at, because there was writing out there, around the 25,375, 25,425, that's a crucial support where you'll want to protect on a closing basis today. And on the upside, I think the 25,700, 25,800 mark will be a bit of a resistance zone. The Nifty Bank 20 DMA, normally the first test of the 20 DMA does see some kind of defense, so we'll keep an eye on that. And finally, two sectors I'm going to be looking at because of the finance minister's comments yesterday. One is the capital marketplace, because they said, no, we don't want to get rid of the F&O market. So that's point number one. Capital market stocks could be in focus, and PSU consolidation could be a relative very, very soon. So PSU banking names as well. Two sectors that I'll be keeping on my radar.
By the way, Nigel, on that not BSE, but on that options thing, right? I will play the soundbite out in just a bit, but it kind of sort of she didn't refer to, the finance minister did not refer to weekly options per se.
Yeah.
But she essentially said that we're not here to crush options, the options market, the futures and options market. We want to regulate it.
Indeed.
Our story, last story was that, the thinking at SEBI has perhaps changed a little bit.
Yes.
They were going really hard after options and they wanted to sort of get rid of the weekly options product.
Yeah.
That seems not to be the case.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe if you want to read a little too much into what the finance minister said, because she didn't say it.
She didn't say it.
I think directionally it looks like maybe there will be regulation, perhaps some guardrails, but it won't be done away with. So we'll see.
I think so. We'll have the SEBI chief as well later today, so that conversation becomes even more interesting. But I tell you what, guys, we're tossing it back to you all in the studio. I believe y'all have a guest with y'all.
Yeah, we do. And before we get to that, just to close out the point that Prashant was making, and just to clarify this, and this whole US tech sell-off and Asia tech sell-off this morning, this was the OpenAI CFO, Sarah Fryer. She was speaking at a Wall Street Journal event yesterday where she made the larger point that if the government does guarantee loans that are taken by companies like OpenAI to build out AI infrastructure, it'll lower their cost of funds. So I think she was speaking from wearing her CFO's hat from a very technical perspective or financial perspective. But the market interpreted this as, is the tech industry asking for some kind of a bailout, which is what Sam Altman has denied this morning. I mean, he's put out the post saying that we do not have or want government guarantees for OpenAI data centers. We believe that governments should not pick winners or losers and that taxpayers should not bail out companies that make bad business decisions or otherwise lose in the market. So just, closing the loop on that one. Sam Altman saying we don't need a bailout, but that didn't stop stocks from falling, Manglam.
That doesn't